But when you've got a triple A major title that is selling you coins to buy underwear for Black Widow, okay, maybe they're not. And welcome back to WCCF Talks Gaming. We're coming at you a little bit earlier this time around because we just come off the heels of the PlayStation 5 announcement, and we didn't want to wait a week to talk about it. So we have Chris here today. He's having himself a nice drink this morning. Kai over there in the corner, and Alessio as usual, and me, your host, Keith. But we're going to kick things over to Alessio. Talk us through what was mentioned and why we should or should not be excited.
Well, first of all, now we know the release date, and it's not going to be a global launch.
I was right.
Yeah, I know you you were waiting to say that, but
Always.
First time for everything.
It is painful always being right. It is painful.
yeah, it's going to be November 12 in North America, and I think Mexico, South Korea, and a few other countries.
Japan, yeah.
And
Japan
the
as well.
rest of the world, it will be a week later, so it's not a big deal. And of course, they also announced the price, which, as we predicted, it's going to be about $500 for the regular edition and $400 for the digital edition. So it's about $100 cheaper, which is more than just the price of the hard drive of the disk drive for sure. So it's likely Sony is incentivizing people to go digital because they have higher margins there, of course, when it comes to revenue.
I also
And
think it's more cutting the amount of, because all consoles are loss makers, so they're probably just trying to cut that slightly back a bit.
yeah, possibly. And of course, they also showcased a lot of new games, actually, a lot of exciting games. We've seen the debut trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which of course was a big deal. And then we've seen a brief teaser for a new God of War game coming next year.
Man.
So it was frankly the showcase itself was great. I mean, there were a lot of great announcements, new games coming. Of course, a new Harry Potter game as well, although that is going to be multi-platform, of course.
Yeah.
But what came later after the showcase was a bit more perplexing because we began to learn about some things that are not as exciting, such as the fact that Sony is raising the price for its exclusives, for its first-party games.
I'll be ranting about that shortly.
So it's going to be $70 for this generation, and also they've had some confusing messaging on a few subjects. For instance, Demon's Souls remake, the trailer had mentioned the PC as a platform as well, but then we discovered it's not coming to PC, at least for now. Maybe in the future.
It will do, probably a few years down the line.
And basically the same thing happened to Final Fantasy 16, because Final Fantasy 16 was mentioned as a console exclusive, but also coming to PC. And now Square Enix just recently, earlier today, they're saying they have nothing to announce about any other platform other than PS5. So again, confusing. But the most perplexing thing is that 3 of the PlayStation 5 exclusives that are coming from first-party studios are not actually PlayStation 5 exclusives, because they're also coming now to PlayStation 4. And these are Horizon, Forbidden West, and also Spider-Man Miles Morales and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. So it's interesting because Sony has made a big deal of delivering next generation software to go with the next generation hardware. In contrast of Microsoft, which is trying to make games available on multiple platforms. multiple devices even. And now it seems like Sony has backtracked on this. So what do you guys think?
So on that multiple platform thing, Microsoft aren't really. Yeah, they're making it available on multiple devices in the aspect of mobile if you use xCloud or bringing things to the PC. But if Final Fantasy 16 is coming to the PC, Sony aren't really backtracking in that respect. Sony are just hogging the console exclusive side of things.
I mean, particularly for the first party games. That was
Yeah, so with first party games, I do. So it's recently been said on Twitter. I think Jim Ryan's in a Washington Post interview. He still plans on bringing the first party games to PC. I imagine it's still going to be the same thing. You'll find them on the PlayStation, and then 2 to 3 years down the line, they'll come to the PC. That way, everybody who wants them on the console gets them, and then it's just the dregs, the PC gamers, the people who've got an Xbox and a PC. Where I say I'll end up getting them on the PlayStation 5 when I manage to pre-order one of this set of bastards.
Ugh.
Yeah,
That's
but
another
we
topic.
will
We'll
end
get
up.
into that in a bit.
Yeah, I think the games will end up coming to multiple devices because Sony's realised that with Horizon Zero Dawn, they can do well if they're released a few years later on the PC, and it's a no-brainer to do it as long as the porting costs aren't too much.
Yeah, but other than PC, I was mainly referring to the older generation because Microsoft said
Right, yeah.
they said from the beginning that for the next couple of years, all Microsoft Studios games will be on both Xbox One and Xbox Series.
Yeah.
But Sony only said they will release games on PS5 until yesterday. So that is a backtrack.
Yeah, it's a strange. Yeah, I think they realize that. I think all the games are going to come. Yeah, it's a backtrack, but it makes sense. They're going to release things for the PS4. It's going to be downgraded because not everybody's going to get a PS5 that early. The simple fact is, I was again. I hate to say, it, but I was right about it coming later to the rest of the world. It's only a week later, better than I expected, but stocks are limited.
They're gone already.
People aren't. Yeah, stocks are going to be very limited. COVID has knocked the living shit out of Sony when it comes to manufacturing the consoles. Microsoft, yeah, they've got a global launch. Again, I don't know how good the stocks are going to be for that. I think people are going to struggle to get a console there. And again, the finances of people are, well, they're stretched. People have been furloughed, people losing jobs. They're going to find it difficult to get a new console that quickly, especially with games increasing their prices. And I'll rant about that shortly, but I don't know. Do you not think that the stocks are going to be limited, so it makes sense to port games backwards?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, if it wasn't for the stock issue, I would take great issue with it. In fact, that makes me consider because of. I mean, the pre-orders. I thought they were going to do surprise pre-orders, and then I was like, surprise! There's a pre-order.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was their messaging. Was one of
Actually,
the
yeah.
Sony execs said there
What the
would be
hell
plenty
happened
of
with
time.
that? What the hell happened with that raffle?
that evidently
I
everybody
forgot, I
lost.
think. Yeah.
Actually, the people that won were under an NDA to not speak to anyone else that they won, and they were given a special link to go ahead and pre-order it before they surprised everyone with a pre-order that wouldn't actually work.
I could believe that. Actually. I really could believe that.
Let's do a quick roundtable. Did starting with Chris, Kai, Alessio, and I'll finish with myself. Did you try to pre-order it, and were you successful?
I tried to pre-order it.
Okay, which one?
I thought I was successful. The full one, the disc version.
Okay.
I thought I was successful. I got to the end of it. I looked at my order. Like the money is being shown as pending out of my bank account right now.
Mhm.
So that's £460 that I can't access. I've looked at the website, and it's cancelled because they don't. While I was in the middle of putting in my card details, someone else has bought the console, the last pre-order. So
Wow.
I can't access my 460 something pounds to pre-order from somewhere else, and I haven't got a console coming. So they can shove it up their arse.
Kai, what about you? I
So
saw you.
I
You and I
wasted,
were both trying. I know.
yeah, let's just say I spent about 5 hours on this yesterday.
Holy
I
crap!
spent 20
So
minutes.
I started with Target. I had the bloody thing in my cart, and as soon as I went to check out, emptied. Walmart never showed up. Best Buy, that was a fun saga that you ran into as well, Keith, where you could add it to your cart. You could see it, but you couldn't actually click the checkout button. So
I've
the
seen that.
entire time, it was just spinning its wheels over and over and over. I could add stuff to my cart.
It's
I
like
could add the
purgatory.
controllers. I could take it out. Took 2, 3 hours of just hitting F5 and trying to refresh. I actually made it to the payment screen. I could click the button
Holy
that said
crap!
place order and it would still spin. So there was another 40 minutes of that. And just out of the blue, it updated the page saying, hey, we sold out. We took everything out of your cart.
Oh,
GameStop, they completely sold out, but they did have their $800 bundles. So if you wanted to get Miles Morales, Destruction All Stars, a second controller, a year of plus, $50 of store credit, and some other nonsense, they'd be happy to take your money for that.
oh yeah, I bet
Until
they
they
will.
didn't, because by the time I stopped trying to refresh Best Buy, I was gonna hunker down and get one of those bundles because I'm gonna play Miles Morales anyways. They sold out of their $900 bundles, and to top it off,
I thought it was
I was
800 at first.
they started adding more bundles, so they
Oh
wanted to get you
God,
the Pulse 3D headset and some other stuff as well.
Man, GameStop is
son of a
desperate.
bitch.
Yeah, so I went to bed 11:30. At 11:41, Wario64 posted that the Amazon links went up.
Oh my god!
So,
So, and they're gone because I just went to Amazon and
oh, of course,
Yeah,
they were gone in about
he-
5 minutes.
here in the UK, Amazon UK, no. Game, no. Shop to, they're still showing a random link where you can put £1 down in the hopes of getting a console when it comes out.
ugh,
Mhm.
And there's Very, that's where I was
wow.
going for. Gone now.
Alessio,
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Argos on Friday. hopefully, I've got my money back then.
I think
Yeah,
Alessio had a little bit better luck than the rest of us.
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I tried later than you because, of course, Europe. So I tried this morning, but GameStop was completely, out of stock already. And actually, they're saying on the page that they can't even guarantee you can, if if you pre-order it now, you can't even be guaranteed to get one by Christmas. So it's not even launched now. It's
Wow. So you're pre-ordering for just to be in line.
yeah,
That is crap.
maybe you'll get it this year. And then I tried other major retailers, and they were also pretty much cleared out. With in one case, I also got the issue where I was about to add it to my cart, but then when I went to pay, it was gone. So yeah. And then lately, I think it was possibly the last option. I managed to pre-order one. So yeah.
You've gone for the digital version, though, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Digital edition, and yeah. Now I'm just hoping, since the launch is on a Thursday, I'm just hoping it will be there. It will be sent here,
Yeah.
in time for the weekend. So
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
If it's a Thursday launch, you'll probably have it by, I don't know,
I
next
agree.
Christmas.
Well,
Okay.
well, I went for the ultimate disappointment and I signed up for different places. Here's the deal. So Kai knows this. You guys know this. If you do somewhere like Amazon, you're not going to get it day one. They're going to ship it
See,
typically on that day. I know here they quit shipping prior. There was a point where they would ship out stuff prior to launch day so that you would have it on launch
all
day.
right.
But there were issues where people were getting things too early. That happened a lot in the hardware scene. People would get new
Yeah,
processors a couple days early by accident, and they didn't have embargoes, so they were just going to town with it. So
it's strange that they've done it in the US, but I still get things shipped early and
Well-
I get them on day one here in the UK.
Well, you guys are like this big, and we're like this big.
Yeah, you do eat too many cheeseburgers.
Speaking of which,
Way.
anyway, so the no surprise pre-order thing, I was like, cool. Well, I can go on Best Buy. The page was up and it had the notify me thing, and I was like, cool. I'll just put my email address in. I'll let it notify me. That way, I can just buy it here. And on my way to or from work that day, I just stop by the store and pick it up. Or actually, even if it's a couple days later, I don't really care. But the reality is, I can pick it up. I don't have to worry about a porch pirate running off with it.
Porch pirate.
Yeah, so
I should have heard that. I've never heard that term before.
So, well, I saw the pricing. I was like, $3.99 for discless, $4.99 for disc. Cool. I'm happy with that because I think in the past, you guys know, I have predicted a much higher price point.
Yeah,
And I want the one with the disc because I want to snatch out my Xbox One S and just put in a new Blu-ray player and have access to some more games and give my kid the Xbox so that she can play Minecraft and Roblox and stuff that she likes to play. Anyway, I got on there and there it was, both ones, digital, disc, cool, disc. Put it in the, actually, first off, the site said it basically was an error screen when I first went to it. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not quite live yet. F5 a few times. There it went live. Pick the one, put it in the cart. Burnt. Error. Okay, fine. You know what? Whatever. Let's try the digital one. I'll just return it and get the disc one whenever it comes in stock, or I'll just sell it. I don't really care. Like, I'll end up with the disc. Same thing. Finally went back. It said sold out. The disc one did not. I guess people were trying to save money first. So, I was like, okay, maybe that's what it is. Same thing as Kai, F5, it would just sit there, refresh, click checkout. It would just refresh, click checkout, refresh.
Yeah.
I never got to the pay. I only got into the cart. Actually, if I go right now, it's still sitting in my cart. And if I try to check out, it'll just say it's out of stock.
It's just purgatory.
I can't even get it to go away from my cart. It's just stuck there now. The best part was because I've been trying to work on this older TV I've got here in my office. I just gave up last night and gave it away to somebody on Facebook. And I was like, I'm just gonna buy me a smaller one, like maybe a 43-inch. I couldn't even shop on BestBuy.com. The whole site was broken. Again, same thing. Same thing. I was like, I'm just gonna buy like a couple $100 TV. Even if it's a 1080p one, whatever. I just need it for testing stuff.
I wonder how devastating it is for somebody who's gone to sleep on a night. The pre-orders have gone up at like 20 to 12, 20 to midnight. They wake up. Everybody's now trying to pre-order it. They're all stuck on the website. They can't even look at things. And when they finally get there, it's like, oh no, we sold out last night, you silly gits. You shouldn't sleep.
You know what? They're gonna go buy something else. That's what's gonna happen because they were told we've heard over and over we weren't gonna be surprised with pre-orders, and then we were. Surprise!
Oh, we've been told so many things.
I
We weren't
know.
going to be surprised with pre-orders. We weren't going to have stock issues. We
Yeah,
weren't.
know
These
what?
things weren't going to happen.
We're gonna have all these games except they're last gen games. You're gonna have a whole lot of last gen games. That's Xbox marketing strategy. We've got so many games from last generation.
I mean,
That's
I think
how
this
it's
was like a
always-
trial run to kind of build up hype. I think that this is like the initial wave, and let's just say, 500 million consoles. I genuinely think Sony will announce an actual date to pre-order later on.
These aren't
But-
Sony pre-orders, so that is the fair statement here.
Yeah.
Sony did not do the pre-order; the retailers did.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't think anybody listened long enough to hear
you're
me
saying
say
500 million. That's a. I honestly would be surprised. I've said it for a long time now. The stocks are so limited. I think Sony are finally going to put up. I honestly would be surprised if Sony even put up the pre-order thing now. By the time they've got the stock in, they're probably not going to. They've got too many deals with different retailers that they've got to meet now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm
Um,
gonna beef up my living room PC and call it my console.
What's quite interesting, you mentioned the price of the console itself. You for a long time you've been saying it's going to be higher than it actually has
Yeah.
come out.
I'm
So,
happy.
Another thing I've said before, and I've said it on the podcast before, I've said it to other people, Sony are just playing the waiting game. They've been holding off for Microsoft to just go, this is the price of our console. And now Sony have waited, a week after, this is what we're going to cost. It's strange how it's coming in at the same thing, yet I would imagine Sony's is more expensive to make.
I don't know. I mean,
Well,
some parts of the Xbox Series X are more.
Yeah.
you know what they're not having to spend as much on? That Blu-ray drive. They don't have to license it from themselves.
No, that is true.
You know
Yeah.
Are they not? Are Sony just like a third owner of the license?
I don't know at
think
this
they're the
point.
full owner, are they?
I don't know at this point.
Yeah, no, they're not the sole owner. They,
Yeah, I think they're just the. I think they're just the third owner. I'm going to have a quick search of that now while we're talking. But yeah, it's a strange one, but I'm not really surprised. Sony have waited. They played the waiting game as I've always thought they would do, and
Yeah.
they wanted to make sure they weren't outpricing.
Yeah.
You look at the PS3 when that was launched, that was priced way out of the market.
Honestly,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go, Alessio. Fill it out.
Yeah, no. My question to each of you is now, what do you think in terms of value of the digital PlayStation 5 and the digital Xbox Series S, which is $100 cheaper, but of course it's also a lot less powerful.
Can I kick it off? Can I kick it off?
Go on, yeah, go on, okay. Keith.
The only added value for the Xbox Series S is Game Pass.
Yeah.
The PlayStation for $100 more gets you the full console. Now people can argue. I'll make the counter argument. They're going to sit there and make the argument that the PlayStation 5 is less powerful than the Xbox Series X. And on paper, it kind of is, but there's some balance. However, you do get your terabyte storage space. You do get the ability to not have to buy a $250 add-in module to expand that storage or replace it.
Well,
I think as a console itself, I think the $400 digital version of the PlayStation 5 is a better value, or not as from the hardware side. I think from the games and overall package, the Series S still holds the key there. I think it's going to win out in that regards.
Well, actually, I mean, the Series S is only about 4 teraflops, so the PS5 is much more powerful in terms of GPU.
And you got full memory, you got full storage. You don't give up. You don't give up any of the hardware, which keeps Sony developing on a single platform.
Yeah. So it's I'd say it's a better deal, but of course, if you are into Game Pass, then that can balance it out a bit. Perhaps.
Yeah, Game Pass is Microsoft built a freaking 10-foot long sword. They built the Buster Sword with the with Game Pass. It's a fantastic deal.
Kai, what do you think?
Kind of the same thing. Like, I'm looking at the specs. I'm looking at how like the Series S isn't even going to run the 1X version of certain titles. I mean, for people that want next gen, they want to get the more powerful system. For people that are on the fence, people that want the half step measure, the Series S is fine. But I do think that like we need to have a clear console generation. And even if Sony's not going to meet it with some of these titles like Horizon, Sackboy kind of being their cross-gen titles, hopefully we'll see some truly next-gen stuff with both like Ratchet and Clank, possibly Demon Souls, Final Fantasy 16, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Also, it's
so just thinking now with you mentioning we're talking about value. So on the subject of value, look at the price of games. I'll go on a little rant now because I said it from the start. Again, I've said it on here. as soon as Take-Two announced that their titles were going to be moving up to $70, it was Ubisoft announced that they weren't going to move them up until, well, for this year. Any titles were launched before Christmas. It doesn't surprise me. I said it back then. They were going to move them up after Christmas. Everybody's just waiting, same as anything in the industry. One company's got to take that first step. Everybody else waits and sees the reaction to it. People didn't make the right outcry over NBA 2K Casino Royale going on up by $10 because
nice.
despite the fact that they've got more microtransactions in it, oh, don't get me started on that shite. But the price of first-party PS5 games, they're going up. They're going up $10 in the US, and for some reason they're going up something like 2.5 times that in Europe. I don't even know what the UK prices are going to be. Probably a kidney, but €80 and $70. That doesn't make sense, especially considering there are many manufacturers, producers here in the UK, in Europe, so they can't even say it's shipped over from America because that would be bullshit. So yeah, I do have a question over the value of games because they're skyrocketing. The one advantage Sony's first party games, they tend to not have all the niggling microtransactions, loot boxes, and rip you off every square inch that they can. So I suppose that's an advantage. But I just can see that every company's going to join in now. Games are going to get more expensive.
Oh yeah, hold on. I want to piggyback off that whole microtransaction thing. I already have a problem with a $60 game selling you coins and season passes and all of that in there. It's fine.
I've got no issue with season passes. It depends.
Oh well, I mean when I say
Depends
season
on the
passes,
content,
I mean like boosters and those kind of things.
Yeah. All that in-game sort of booster shit. Yeah,
separate it.
They
Now,
can shove it.
I will say the something like Modern Warfare, because Warzone is offered for free. I get why it's in there. Like the Warzone part, you can get it for free, separate from the whole game. So that's probably, and I know I'm giving Blizzard and Activision a bit of more of a bone than they deserve when I say that. But when you see other games, I think there's a game now. Alessia's going to get mad at me because he does like playing it. But when you've got a AAA major title that is selling you coins to buy underwear for Black Widow, okay, maybe they're not, but they're selling you these kind of things.
Underwear for Black Widow, I'm in.
You're not gonna see them; they're under the pants, man. Just saying, like though that's where I run in the wrong. Now you're gonna get into $70 games, and they're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. My argument is always going to be the same. The games industry can't say it's an absolute bullshit argument that games cost too much to make. They don't cost too much to make because all the companies are making record levels of revenue and record levels of profit. They can't be making record profit if the games are too expensive to make.
It's too expensive for the shareholder.
Yeah, and that's all it is. And if they just be honest, we want to make more money from you because the people who own shares in us want more to line their pockets because they want their second gold-plated whore yacht, then fair enough. Have it. Just be honest.
Don't lie about it.
Don't come up with the bullshit because if I've had these discussions with people in the industry and people out who apologize for the industry or make excuses for them. It's utter bullshit. Like was it Ninja Theory who released Senua's Sacrifice?
Yeah.
They could make a AAA quality game, and I hate using AAA. They could make a very high quality game, and it was priced reasonably, and they made money off of it. It brought them a lot of acclaim, and they didn't have to sell us 5 extra hair strands. Oh,
you didn't buy the extra beads?
To be fair, let me play devil's advocate for a minute.
No, don't do it. They're a set of bastards. They don't deserve
Hold on, where's
it.
the mute button?
Oh, I mean, with regards to Hellblade, they, they were successful, but then Microsoft came and they said yes, because they didn't want to be on the line as they were for like 20 years, and the same goes
Yeah,
for InkStyle, for Obsidian, you know. So
no, I do appreciate that, and I understand that completely. When unless you have a massive, massive, massive runaway hit, and nearly every game is a risk. And yes, it is. Of course, it is. And it's always nice to have that runaway hit. Let's face it, Rockstar. Once they made GTA 3, they were never on the line ever again for the history of that company. It's like Epic Games bought Rocket League. When Rocket League was launched, yeah, bad example. They did end up putting in all the crates and all that, but they've been taken out now. But again, it sold so many copies, they don't need it.
Hold on. Rocket League added stuff later.
Yeah.
It wasn't built around the foundation of
No, I'm
a
saying
slot
they
machine.
did add it later, which
Yeah.
isn't the ideal. But it's like it still sold millions of copies. Like any game, as long as it. I don't want to
understand.
say any game that's well made can hit it big, because that's not true. I've always said Beyond Good and Evil, that was such a fantastic game. It should have sold 10 plus million copies, and everybody who didn't buy it needs hitting. But again, a quality game isn't always going to hit it big. But if you make a quality game, it should still get the recognition. It will make the sales. But yeah, I don't know. The quality games that could be good are just whoring themselves out, and it pisses me off. And so again, I won't play an NBA 2K game, because why would I? If I
don't
want to
like
play a
those
slot
games.
machine, I'll just go to a studying casino. I don't play. If I want to play a basketball game, I'm going to find something different, because NBA 2K isn't basketball anymore. It's casino with a weird basket-shaped ball or something.
anyway,
Fucking set of bastards.
yeah, no. What I'm going to say on the topic also is it will be interesting to see what Microsoft does
It
with,
will.
with its own games, you know, first party games, whether they will raise prices or not. Maybe they won't, because you know they have the balance sheet to be able to cover costs. And you know, something else that's kind of related but interesting. You know, Jim Ryan, the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment, also did a couple of interviews, as you said, you know, with the Washington Post
I
and
mentioned that one.
also games industry. And basically, he said Sony isn't planning to do anything like Game Pass, because for them it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's not as cost effective.
they want to, yeah, they don't see it as profitable. They'd rather, you know, make God of War and sell millions of copies at $60. So what do you think?
70.
Yeah.
Yeah, $70 and the equivalent of $100 in Europe and the UK, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, don't forget you're getting a Game Pass adjacent thing with the PlayStation Plus Instant Game Collection on PlayStation 5, including such hot titles as Persona 5 and not the Royal Edition.
So it's a subscription for games that are a year or 2 years old.
Yep.
Not the new
that
ones.
you can play on PS5, but they're not getting any extra enhancements.
Yeah, and
Why?
also because
So you have some games to play.
Because nothing's coming out at launch.
Yeah.
See,
No.
this is the issue we had with this generation. They need to start developing games 2 years before they actually come to a launch, so they've got something ready. They're not rushing. This generation we're on now, before, like, Microsoft had Rise, son of boring linear studying Gladiator.
That's interactive movie, sir.
Mm.
Click button to walk forward.
And what Sony had Werewolves in London. Studying the Order. Yeah, the Order 1886.
No, that one came later. That didn't launch with it.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's
No,
even
you got
worse because it was
Killzone
that
and you got
bad.
a bunch of cross-gen junk.
Yeah.
Launch lineups are always kind of lagging.
Yeah,
They've gotten
they are.
so bad.
They're always pretty shit. That's just how it is. But they need to. I suppose they need to start thinking. I wonder if it's a tactic. I'll launch lineup shit, so buy this subscription so you can play a few games until we get a good game.
Wouldn't
much.
surprise me.
Is that the tactic now? I've got an idea. Buy a PC.
Look, this just to go ahead and start wrapping things up. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I didn't get in the pre-order. My excitement is gone. I probably won't pick one up until they do the refresh. I've done that in the past. That's usually whenever I pick up the console. I didn't get the PlayStation 3. I got the Xbox whenever they actually. I did. I bought the Xbox 360 when they came out with the refresh with the HDMI port in it. I bought the
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 when they did the slim version. I bought my Xbox One S whenever the One S came out because it was the slimmer version and it just had the enhancements. And I'll probably do that this time. I don't know that they'll do it.
Yeah, I was just thinking, will they actually do
I
a
don't
refresh?
know that they'll do, a smaller, slimmer version. And if they do, they probably won't put the disc drive in any of them. It'll just be a straight digital console this time. I may just finish dusting off my console or my living room PC. I was saying my console PC, but I may just clean it up, reinstall Windows, and have it launch right into Steam Big Picture, and just enjoy my gamings that way because it's ray tracing capable. It's got a 2070 in it. Maybe I put a different case that I can put a Blu-ray drive in it, so I can watch my movies on it and get rid of the Xbox entirely. I don't know that. We'll see. I'm excited as a console, but I think we still need to see what they're both going to offer. Is the Xbox going to just be a subscription service for the games that I can already get on my PC, but in a console form, and will the PlayStation have enough games at a reasonable price this year to justify buying it and not waiting? I don't know. That's my final words. I'll let everybody else have some say.
Go for it, Chris.
Go on, I'll let you two speak first.
Oh, I think the PS5 is already, I won't say packed, but as far as the launch lineups go, I mean, they've had far worse because they've got a new Spider-Man game. The previous one was great, actually. They've got Demon Souls remake, which looks amazing, to be honest.
Now, again, that does look amazing, but it's a remake, so I don't know if I'm worried about. Again, I mean, I love Demon Souls, so I will say yay to it.
It's
And
getting Fortnite.
since I played it at the start, I'm not that excited.
And GTA 5.
Yeah, well,
Now we just need Skyrim to complete the trifecta.
Yes.
Keep going, Alessio. Keep going.
No, I mean, of course, it doesn't have like 10 massive exclusives, but again, Microsoft has nothing. So, 2 against 0 is still a win.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You're right. That's
And also, as I've said before, I think both here and on the website, I think the DualSense controller will be a major feature that the PS5 has an advantage because
have we actually been told when Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to the Xbox Series X?
no, not yet.
Because if that's at launch, then that could be
it's already out on
launch
PC.
title for them. Yeah, I know, but we're talking console exclusives.
Right now, it's a PC exclusive.
Yeah, Kai, go ahead. Tell us your piece.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to play Demon Souls again for like a decade now, but my PS4 Pro is kind of on its last legs. I've had to replace the hard drive twice. It still sounds like a jet engine. I don't think this thing's going to last me through another year. So that's like the main reason I want to upgrade to the PS5 is just to make sure I can keep playing PS4 games on it. So the new games, they'll be an added bonus,
There you go. I'm going to buy me a PS4.
I'll sell you mine.
Even though it doesn't work properly.
I mean, it works. You just have to wear some earmuffs.
Kai, you're going to sell me a busted piece of gear? Oh. I did break your motherboard, so.
Yeah, I did kill motherboard. I did kill my monitor yesterday. I have some great luck this
Yeah,
past
you
Mm.
need to avoid touching anything electronic.
Chris, what do you think? And carry us out.
See,
Finish us off.
yeah, so I'm interested in the new consoles. Like you, I think I've dulled my expectations on the PS5 now. Of course, I want it. I've said it before. I'm interested on the PS5 for when Ratchet and Clank comes out because I do adore Ratchet and Clank. Spider-Man, yeah, great launch title, but it's not Ratchet and Clank for me, I suppose. I think it's also the fact that I went through all that hassle this morning and I still can't access £460 of my own fucking money, which is what, $600 or something. Imagine if you had $600 that you know is yours and you can't touch it because some prick's just like, no, I'm having it for now. You can have it back in a week, but not yet, not yet. You'd be a bit annoyed, wouldn't you?
Yeah. A little bit.
Anyway, just to add to what Chris said, Ratchet and Clank is supposed to launch in the launch window, so it's not supposed to be far from November.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
guessing
before
it'll be
Christmas.
Sometime in December.
It'll be
not
before the
long
holiday.
before
They want
Christmas.
it. They'll want it out before
Yeah.
Christmas.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the first or second week in December. So I suppose chances are, what I'm actually going to do is I'll buy a PS5 and on Ratchet and Clank when we get told about Ratchet and Clank. Hopefully, I'll be reviewing it, so we'll get a review code, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, I best go buy a console now." So that's my plan. That's my plan. So yeah, Sony have knocked it out to the park in reality to carry it all off. They've had a great conference, and they did that same as with E3 for the PS4, Xbox One generation by waiting to see what Microsoft had to offer, and then just saying they had this, we've got this. Microsoft already did very good, in all fairness to them. Sony just had to up the game. I think they're taking a bigger loss on the console than they expected to. And I think that's part of the reason why games are getting dearer for them. And they're going to expect everybody to raise the price of games. I'm worried what this means for digital copies of games because it's already extortionate to charge $70, €80 for a physical copy. For a digital copy, especially when you're trying to incentivize people to go digital, that's not going to work properly.
Yeah.
And it's starting to price people out of their own hobby. People already struggle to buy a game a month because spare cash is getting limited.
Yeah,
It's going to be more so later. So
something that I hope will be possible still with the PS5 is being able to create like a North American account, a US account from Europe, and buying in dollars.
I think you'll be able to because I think you'll just log in using your current accounts.
Yeah, because
Just don't tell them what they are, or they'll tell you, or they'll shut them down.
Right.
But yeah, I'll be doing the same thing. I've got a North American account. I've got an Asian account. I've got accounts all over the goddamn world.
Yeah.
Look at Mr.
But
Worldwide
yeah,
here.
so the PS5, Sony, they've done good. We just need to see how things are going to pan out in the future.
Yep. Well, there you go, guys.
Yeah.
Sony, if you're listening, give me a PS5 and give me a Ratchet and Clank. Yeah.
I will give you money for a PS5.
Right. Let us
Okay,
buy
Don't
one.
listen to him. Don't listen to him.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Au revoir.